Good Friday morning, everyone. Welcome back to Weather with Sim again. I hope you guys are all having a great Friday so far, and as well as a great start to your weekend. And today is January 24th, 2025. And before we get into today's forecast, you guys can see how my screen does look a lot different, but that's because I want to try to do another different type of forecast to see if it makes a big difference than what I've been doing before. Because what I've been doing before is I've been going through each of the pictures one by one, but the difference now is that we might actually start looking at live models like this, where we can go through everything a lot quicker and we can really see what's happening live as we get into the future. So it's up to you guys on how you guys want me to do the forecasts, or I can do the slideshow, or I can even do the slideshow like this, what I've been doing before, like I said, where I've been going through picture after picture after picture like this and telling you guys the forecast. So like I said, it's up to you guys on how you guys want me to do the forecasts, because I do keep you guys up to date. So make sure to comment down below which forecast you guys would prefer. It would either be the slideshow like what I'm showing right now, or it would be now starting to show these live models, like I said. So we will definitely figure that out later, after you guys give me your guys' opinions. But what we're going to be talking about in today's forecast is that we are going to be seeing some pretty big changes in our temperatures by the time we get into the next couple of weeks, which we will be tracking a pretty big shot of warm air likely to roll on in here by the time we get into the beginning of February. But after that, we might also be seeing a shot or two of cold air come on in, and when that happens, we could be seeing more winter storms than what we've been dealing with before. So we will really need to keep an eye on this very closely, as we're going to have kind of a wild pattern setting up where we see shots of cold air and as well as shots of warm air, which will definitely cause a pretty wild pattern over here. But if you are new here to the YouTube channel, or if you haven't subscribed already, make sure to go down below and click that subscribe button, as we upload every day on this YouTube channel. And it's also good to check back often for updates, as we will sometimes do more than one video per day on this channel. So make sure to subscribe if you haven't pressed that subscribe button already. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up too as well. Those help out more than you know, and those are much appreciated. And make sure to share this with any friends, family, or anyone who you know on social media. If you guys would please do that, that would be much appreciated, so that way we can help get the word out to everyone. But let's start off by going over what's shown on my screen right now, where we're gonna kind of be going through everything that we can expect as we get into February. And starting off right now, the pattern is pretty quiet overall, as we don't really have much going on, despite a few Alberta clippers ongoing up there in the plains, like the Dakotas, back over there in the Montana. We do have some pretty good clippers ongoing in those areas, and those may continue to bring snowfall to parts there of Utah, Colorado, Wyoming, and Nevada by the time we get into Saturday, January 25th, which looks to be for tomorrow. And then I think the next storm system we may need to watch for, this one doesn't really look to bring any significant impacts as of right now, because we're not really expecting any severe weather or any thunderstorms with this system. Just looks to be bringing some plain old rain down here now, Alabama, Georgia, Mississippi, and as well as Louisiana over there in the Dixie Valley region. So we will be watching that by the time we get into Monday of next week. And then after that heads out, we could be tracking some pretty big rain down here in Texas, Louisiana, and Mississippi, and perhaps even Alabama once again by the time we get into the beginning of our February, which will be at the end of next week, about 7 days from now. And that winter storm, or at least some of the storm system, could then turn into a winter storm, as we'll have some cold air trying to filter on in, which could bring sleet, freezing rain, and even some heavy snowfall on the northern side of that system, but it mostly just looks to be bringing plain old rain to parts there of the Ohio Valley, Midwest, even down there towards the Dixie Valley region. So places like Alabama, Mississippi, Georgia, Tennessee, Kentucky, Indiana, Illinois, and Missouri could definitely all experience some pretty good rain by the time we get into the beginning of next week. And of course, we will need to continue to watch that winter storm as it will continue to bring those impacts even over there in New England, where we could continue to see that freezing rain and heavy snow persist. And then maybe another pretty wild system rolling on through, which this one could bring some heavier rain a little farther to the north, which might even indicate some chances for thunderstorms a little farther down to the south. So we will need to be watching that system very closely, as it could be a little bit more impactful, and that will be a few days after the first system that rolled on through, and that will be as we get into the beginning of next week as well. And then after that remains very uncertain, as we are now at the very end of the mall run, but we could very well be talking about some little storm system possibly making its way towards us by the time we get closer into the middle of February. But since we are heading over 10 days out from February still, at least from what's certain, we aren't really able to tell exactly what's still going to be happening. But once again, we will be keeping on it very closely for you, as some pretty big impacts are definitely looking likely. And then the next big thing I would like to look at is going to be your guys' temperatures. If we take a look at your guys' temperatures, you guys can see that we're going to be seeing that cold air continue to stick around today and perhaps even into tomorrow morning. And then we're going to start to see a brief warm-up roll on through. Not much of a warm-up, but a brief warm-up roll on through parts there of the Great Lakes, Midwest, and Ohio Valley by the time we get into Saturday this weekend, which looks to be tomorrow. And then we might be looking at maybe a little bit of colder air rolling on through. It doesn't really look to bring much below normal temperatures, but it definitely could bring some cold air. But I think the thing we should watch closely even more is going to be the big warm up. Check that out. The Dakotas into Minnesota seeing 18 plus degrees above normal, guys. That is crazy. So we will need to be watching that very closely by the time we get into Tuesday of next week. And of course, we will need to be watching for, once again, some other cold shots of cold air to possibly rolling on through. And then we might even be seeing another significant warm up by the time we get into the beginning of our February, like I said, which this one could very well bring some pretty big impacts, guys. Some pretty big impacts definitely appearing possible with this warm up as it rolls on through, as we could be seeing well above normal temperatures, guys. So we will be watching this warm up very closely, as it could even bring even more above normal temperatures down here in the deep south, which is kind of crazy to look at. And then after that, maybe a big time shot of cold air coming on down from Canada, and then maybe another significant warm up once again before another cold air shot gets on going. But once again, way too far out to really tell how exactly these temperatures will play out. But the least I can say, though, is that this is definitely looking like a pretty crazy pattern, as we'll be seeing surges of warm air and cold air around, which could even set up the stage for some severe weather. We just haven't gotten any signs of it yet, so it is going to continue to remain uncertain whether we'll get any severe weather or not. But once again, when these cold air and warm air collide with each other, could definitely create some severe weather setup, and so we will keep an eye on it very closely, especially as we get into our February. And then the next thing I think I want to look at is going to be let's look at your total rainfall next. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's look at our total rainfall next, which as we get from now all the way to the beginning of our February, you can see how that rainfall really starts to add up quick down here in the Southern Plains, deep south, and as well as the Dixie Alley region, especially those areas like Louisiana and southeastern Texas, where we could be seeing some pretty high rainfall totals of around 8 inches, as we will be seeing several rounds of rain rolling on through that area, and maybe even a little bit more by the time we get into February. And then after that, we might be seeing some pretty healthy rainfall totals along the East Coast, which we actually kind of need it there in some areas after seeing those wildfires. I think that was like back in November when we saw those. But anyway, though, we could definitely use some rainfall in some areas over here along the East Coast, as some areas have been dry once again. And we might even need to watch the Northwest closely, as some more flooding issues could develop, as we could be seeing anywhere from 8 to 12 inches in some parts of the Northwest. So we will definitely be watching you guys in Washington, Oregon, and as well as Western California very closely, as some very high rainfall totals does appear possible. Now, the next thing that we're going to look at is going to be our total snowfall, because once again, we could be seeing a pretty big winter storm rolling on through by the time we get into the beginning of our February. And it doesn't really point out a whole lot of snow, but at least for the areas that are expected to see that winter storm. But we could very well be seeing some pretty good elevation snowfall out here in the west, especially in the higher elevations, like I said, where we could be seeing anywhere from 2 feet to 4 feet of snowfall in some of these areas. And we will even be watching even areas like Minnesota and Wisconsin very closely, as those areas could pick up a couple of feet. And even after that, we might even need to watch some more storms after that, but we're heading far enough out to where it will remain very uncertain, but we will definitely keep an eye on it very closely for you. But thank you all so much for watching. I hope you guys did enjoy today's weather forecast. Once again, make sure to subscribe to the channel, as we do upload every day, and we will even keep you guys up to date with the latest. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up too as well. Those help out more than you know, and those are much appreciated. And of course, make sure to tell me whether you guys like me to do this type of forecast, which is new because I haven't done this type of forecast for a while, or if you guys like this other type of forecast where we do a slideshow like this, as you can see right there, where we go through all the photos. So like I said, it's up to you on how you guys want to do it, but once again, though, I will definitely try my best to keep you guys up to date with the latest, so feel free to let me know down in the comments on which forecasts you guys like. And yeah, like I said, we will let you guys know about all that. And yeah, I hope you guys all have a great rest of your day, and we will see you in the next one. Thank you all so much for watching, and goodbye.